What's going on, everybody? TJ here from TJ's Take. We have Monday Night Football to break down for you. A good one tonight. We have the Seahawks visiting the 49ers. Seahawks are 6 to 6.5 point underdogs. 47.5 point total. Really like the Seahawks in this one. Love them with the points, and I love the money line. I think that total is a little high at 47.5. But yeah, we'll just jump right into it here. George Kittle doubtful with a knee. That's pretty much all the injury news we have. Robbie Gould also doubtful with quads. So we have no kicker for San Francisco. That kind of makes things a little easier on us. Raheem Mostert questionable with a knee. Won't be playing him tonight anyways. So yeah, a lot to go through here. First things first, so immediately when I see George Kittle doubtful with a knee, don't expect him to play whatsoever. I look right to Ross Dwelley. He's still sitting at $5,000, what he was last week. Dwelley still got some production even when George Kittle was in the game. He got 4 targets, caught them all for 29 yards. I expect maybe 8 to 9 targets tonight. I think he's a great option. Not too confident on his ownership tonight. I'm not positive what it's going to be. But I do think we can have a lot of contrarian lineups with a productive guy at min price. Other things to talk about, we do have a Seattle Seahawks defense who ranks 29th against the pass. I probably won't be using too many of these 49ers running backs tonight, and I might not be using too much Jimmy Garoppolo. Like I said, I really do like the Seahawks in this game, and it's hard for me to get away from Russell Wilson in any lineup. I don't think there's any way he doesn't crack this top 5, and I trust him a lot more than I trust Garoppolo, even though San Francisco's defense is that much better. We did see a guy like Kyler Murray, who is basically just a younger, not as good Russell Wilson. So I do think Russ has the upper hand in this one. I prefer him in my top spot tonight, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go other directions as well. So I'll start off there just by plugging in a core. I'm going to go Russ. I'm going to go get Dwelley down here and see what else I can do. I just think $5,000 is too cheap not to go ahead and play him in at least 70% of lineups. I just think he's going to get at least 10 points for you here tonight. And if he catches a touchdown, you're going to want him in that lineup. I'm hoping the ownership is still low, but we'll have to see. So we're going to want a Russ Wilson target in there. Other news we didn't talk about, Josh Gordon. Looks like he's going to suit up tonight. So look out for him out there. That kind of makes me like Jaron Brown a little more. Jaron Brown, a lot of people might be off of him since Josh Gordon is back, or now in this lineup. But I do think Josh Gordon will have limited snaps. I don't think he's going to get, a ton of plays in today, being this new to this team. So I still do like Jaron Brown. A guy I really like tonight is Jacob Hollister. Will Dissly out on IR. Hollister's came in, and he has been good. The past 3 games, 6 targets against Tampa Bay, 2 against Atlanta, 6 against Baltimore. He did get 2 touchdowns last week against Tampa Bay. Racked up 17.7 points. I think he's going to be a bigger part of this offense tonight. I'm going to go ahead and plug him in here. That gives me both tight ends. And like I said, I do think that game will go under. So I actually like going to get Jason Myers. And that leaves us 21,000. We can do anything we want with this start. I can go get another target for Russ Wilson, which I might just do. Or another guy I really like in this game is Emmanuel Sanders. He is definitely the guy there now. If I plug him in, that'll leave me 9,500. Really don't mind that lineup at all. If you're not comfortable with Jason Myers in there, just go grab DK Metcalf. I like fading Tyler Lockett. I think playing Lockett, Dwelley, and Emmanuel Sanders together is a little chalky. I'm expecting Ross Dwelley to be around 20 to 30%. Maybe he's not that high. I'm just not sure. But I mean, some models are predicting him around 15. I've seen others at 28. So I think it just kind of depends on the site, but I guess we'll see on that. That's going to be a big part of these builds. But Russ Wilson, Ross Dwelley, Jacob Hollister, DK Metcalf, and Emmanuel Sanders, you're leaving $6,500 out there. The only problem is we do have 2 targets and we don't have a Jimmy Garoppolo in there, but I think that's fine. We just need a guy like DK and Jacob Hollister to get up there close to Jimmy Garoppolo type points. Another build I like, I'm going to go with the Seahawks running game. Chris Carson has looked good. I think that he will go lower owned than normal. Not saying he's going to be low owned, but lower owned than normal going up against this defense. This defense is very, very good against the pass, but just 15th against the rush. So, I mean, looking at a game log here, 12, 15, 8, 23, 18, 16, and I'm not huge at looking at game logs, but he did go up against some decent defenses here. A Baltimore defense, a Rams defense, who rank right around there with San Francisco in terms of rushing, and Cleveland there too. Racked up some pretty decent points. So I don't mind going Chris Carson tonight. I'm going to go ahead and plug him in the top spot, take Russ Wilson, and then I'm going to go right back here to Jacob Hollister. Now, I do like pairing that running back and tight end together, obviously, and then usually I might have a kicker in there, but Russ Wilson is Russ Wilson. I'm going to go ahead and take him. We definitely have enough room with a guy like Dwelley on here where we can go get these other guys. I'm going to go take Deebo Samuel as just kind of a fade off of Emmanuel Sanders. And that allows me to go, I can still go get Emmanuel Sanders, but that does give us 2 of these San Francisco targets again. It's kind of a bummer because I do want to plug a San Francisco kicker in here. I'm going to take Deebo Samuel out of there. I'm going to take a back who can also catch in Tevin Coleman and leave the 12-5 on there. And then I'm going to come down here and get Jason Myers. That'll leave us 4 Seattle guys and then Tevin Coleman. That'll leave us $3,000. Don't mind that build at all. You can even switch Russ Wilson and Chris Carson if you'd like. Now, just in case these 49ers do kind of blow up, I really like Emmanuel Sanders, taking a shot on him in the top spot tonight, so that we have to throw Jimmy G in there. And let's throw Russ Wilson in. We'll come down here and grab Ross Dwelley. And so we have Jimmy G with 2 of his targets, Emmanuel Sanders being up top. And then we'll take Russ Wilson. You can take Josh Gordon, take a stab on him at 7,000. You can take Jacob Hollister again. We can take DK Metcalf. We can take a lot of these guys. I'm a huge fan of Hollister tonight. I like playing both tight ends together. I think you're being a little contrarian that way, and you leave $4,000 by doing that. This is probably one of my favorite lineups just because I do like plugging Sanders in there. If Seattle does jump ahead early and San Francisco is forced to pass, I think Jimmy G will target Emmanuel Sanders a ton, and I think his second favorite target right now is Ross Dwelley. These guys like to throw the ball to the tight end. They do not have their tight end tonight, so they have to settle for this guy, who does not look very bad at all. Really like that. I really like that build. Other guys that I can just run through here that we didn't really cover. Gonna want some exposure to Tyler Lockett. Don't love him tonight, but I do think at 13.5 he's at a strange price range where it's difficult to fit him in, so we might see lower ownership. So I don't mind going Tyler Lockett. DK Metcalf obviously in play. I'm not huge on Breida today. If I'm going to play a running back, it's probably going to be Tevin Coleman just because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I do think Seattle can shut a guy like Breida down. Like Jason Myers tonight. Again, we don't have the other kicker. Jaron Brown, mentioned him. A guy like Kendrick Bourne. I don't really like coming down here into the 6K range with these Kendrick Bourne and Marquise Goodwin. Usually these are guys I like to take a stab on and hope they get in the end zone, which they've done in the past. But I think Ross Dwelley, even if these guys do score, I think Dwelley will get enough targets and enough catches where his price can easily match theirs and he will have better value. So I'm just not comfortable going with a Kendrick Bourne or Marquise Goodwin or Dante Pettis tonight when we have Dwelly this cheap. Another guy you can take in large field tournaments. Where is he at? Kyle Juszczyk. He is back. A guy I do usually like to take. He's sitting at 5,002. I mean, he is getting targets. He's gotten 3 targets against Cleveland, got 3 targets against Pittsburgh, got 2 against Cincinnati. He's coming off an injury. Should be very, very low owned. Don't mind playing him. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I do think if we're going with a game script, I like Seattle's passing attack. I do also like Chris Carson, but I probably have more of the passing attack, even though these 49ers are better against the pass. And as far as the Niners go, my guys that I really like to go to is Sanders and Dwelly. I think this is a good game tonight. I think this is a good spot for DFS. San Francisco is usually tricky because you do have all those guys in Pettis and Bourne in the 6K range. But I think it makes it easier that we have Dwelly and no Kittle tonight. Also, no kicker, so we have to be a little more flexible, but at the same time, we do have Josh Gordon in there, and that can be a big hit or a big miss. So other than that, have a good one. The NBA article will be up soon, and send me your screenshots.